Ancient wisdom for modern times. Chapter 3. The Eightfold Path. The Buddha's fourth noble truth is expressed in terms of an eightfold path. There are signposts along the path of spiritual enrichment. They give directions. The Buddha traveled the path and sought to show it to others. He left a roadmap with directions. He believed it to be a system every person could trust because he had pioneered the virgin territory. He had experienced the journey. If you want to trust someone's experience, if you want an example to follow, he said, trust me. Here's what to do. The blueprint has stood the test of time for 2,500 years. Even today, in a world that has undergone considerable change, it is hard to find a better program in which to place our trust. Here are the basics. Siddhartha's 8-step self-improvement plan for healthy living. They can be read and memorized in a few minutes. Applying them takes a lifetime. Number 1, right understanding. Right understanding involves seeing through illusions, such as the idea that wealth automatically brings happiness, or that getting older won't involve change. It is also much more than that. It has to do with seeing things as they really are, rather than as illusion or what they appear to be. At the micro level, the level of the very small, subatomic particles consist of nothing but energy vibrating at different frequencies. Although the particles form objects, such as our bodies, that appear very solid. At the macro level, the level at which we consciously live the bulk of our waking lives, we discover that people, including ourselves, are not always what they appear to be. Right understanding means that we need to do our best to seek reality rather than that which appears to be reality. It requires an open mind and heart. It requires listening more than talking, trying to empathize and understand more than getting a point across. Right understanding means habitually digging deeper, of being open to the realization that literally everything we see and experience carries more than a superficial reality. When a child cries while holding up a cut finger, do the tears flow from the pain of the cut finger? Or do the tears represent the fears that the child encountered when she discovered that the world doesn't always operate the way she thinks it should? Do the tears mean she has suddenly discovered that the world dishes out pain as well as pleasure? If so, simply treating the wound won't help. The child needs comfort of a different sort. She needs to learn that when the world hands out pain, people will be there to help her and protect her as much as possible. Perhaps, though, she may need to learn another lesson. Having once become accustomed to people always being there for her when she experiences pain, She may need to learn that sometimes she will have to face the hurt alone. In that case, you need to give her some space. Now, knowing which lesson she needs to learn is difficult. It takes a lot of thought, compassion, and empathy. It takes right understanding. Right understanding is not something you just decide to do. It is a process that takes a lifetime to improve. And you will never achieve it fully, but becoming aware is the first step. Buddhists like to tell the story of a man who one day happened upon the Buddha, who was meditating along the side of the road. "Sir," the man said, "I can see that you are a holy man. Are you a god?" "No," replied the Buddha, "I am not a god." "Are you an angel that you radiate such holiness?" Again, the Buddha shook his head. "Then what are you?" the man pleaded. "I am awake," said the Buddha. Right understanding is the first step in waking up. Number 2, right thoughts or motives. Does an actor strive to portray a character truthfully and forcefully in order to move an audience to understand who that character really is? Or does she do it for applause? Does a preacher deliver a powerful sermon to lead his congregation to spiritual understanding? Or does he do it so he can garner compliments on his insight and pulpit style? Well, the Buddha realized that it is not enough to do the right thing. We must do the right thing for the right reason. When the actor brings her character to life and the preacher delivers his sermon, they both face a spiritual crisis. On the one hand, they want to do the best possible job of moving their audience, of bringing them to a deeper understanding of life. On the other hand, if they do it well, they will inevitably receive compliments. With this comes the possibility that they may begin performing not for the sake of the performance or the audience, but for the promise of more compliments. Now, this would change their motive for performing. To stem this possibility, should they then hold back out of humility because they don't want to receive positive comments? Should they do a poor job on purpose? Of course not. Having right thoughts or motives does not mean doing less than your best. It means being constantly aware of your reasons for acting. Doing good work for its own sake lies on one hand. Doing good work only to receive praise for that work lies on the other. Simply be aware of your motives. We have all heard about celebrities who became spoiled by praise. For every actor who receives an Academy Award, there are 1,000 who are just as talented, but wait on tables for money because they haven't received their big break. How many good authors never get published? How many world-class musicians play great music to small audiences? How many homemakers set a beautiful table for an audience of 3? Why do they do it? They do it, many of them, because they love their work or hope to help someone by it or just want to do it, not because they want recognition. If some recognition comes, whether from one appreciative person or a national audience, they would be wise to accept the feedback while continuing to focus on the work. A common Hollywood trap, it seems, is that of becoming too famous too early. If a celebrity has not learned how to discern right motives, he or she can fall into deep psychological trouble. It cannot be emphasized enough. It is good to do the right thing, but not sufficient. The right thing must be done for the right reason.